Good morning, church family. We have the privilege today to talk about type 4, and it should be maybe a unique Sunday, an interesting Sunday, because this type is one of the most unique types in the Enneagram. So if you are lucky enough to have a type 4 in your life, you'll know it as soon as I start talking about it, and Pastor Larry talks about it in his sermon. But they are some of the coolest people in my life, and I'm so grateful for my relationships with type 4s. So type 4s can be known as the romantic or the individualist. They are the people that have a very wide emotional range. So for those of us who have some difficulty and maybe have some blunted emotional range, they're the ones that kind of bring it out of us, which is so helpful in so many aspects. They are deeply creative at their core. They are emotionally honest when they're in health, and the creativity is sometimes balanced with an intensity, but not always a negative intensity. Sometimes it is just one of those intense situations there where you go out to eat with a type 4 and you just feel like you've just had a therapy session. They are typically actors or artists, poets, chefs, musicians, just all of the different things in life that just give us so much beauty. And again, that creative factor. When you think about type 4, it should go right to some of my most creative friends. So in health, these individuals can confront and reframe their shame. So we all experience shame at some level in our lives, but they're able to actually tackle it head on. They're able to recognize love is unconditional, that regardless of what they do, what they achieve, what they don't achieve, they are good just in the idea of being made in the image of God. They are some of the most connected individuals you will find, reaching out to others, finding themselves deep within who they are, and just spending time learning about, again, other people and themselves. They are so attuned to beauty. They pay attention on purpose, which is the idea of mindfulness. And there is an author who talks about the idea of beauty hunting, that within every day there's some level of beauty to be found. And these types just have it in their bones. They're able to sort through, the negative noise of life, or the background noise, to just find the beauty in every day, which is such a wonderful thing we can learn from them. Now, when they're in stress, or when they're struggling with their health, they can also oftentimes be moody or melodramatic. Sometimes they can even be seen as being needy or self-pitying. At their very, very worst, there are times where they can be manipulative or even play the victim. I don't know if you guys have seen that Saturday Night Live sketch of being a Debbie Downer, but she tends to be kind of a type 4 just in that sketch of, woe is me, I'm experiencing the most difficulty, this is the most difficult thing for me. So they tend to err on that side when they're really, really struggling. So the work of the 4, the individualist or the romantic, is to use their creativity essentially to accept themselves. That seems like a very easy thing for the rest of us to say, but at the core of who they are, they have a lot of insecurity surrounding that. So accept themselves for all of the wonderful and difficult parts about them. To trust themselves, to know that they have a strong sense of intuition. And if they would just take time to listen to what their inner self is saying, it's probably a good decision most of the time. And then depend on themselves. So accept themselves, trust themselves, and depend on themselves. The idea that no emotion is final can really help us to almost ride the wave of that emotion, to tolerate it and notice it without letting it overtake us. So I am not a 4, but I love my 4s. I have several very close friends that identify with the type 4, and I'm grateful for their creativity, their work, their very wide range of emotion, because it is so life-giving in so many ways. So some really good resources for type 4s, or for those of you who love type 4s. The best book I have found that really connects with this type is by Brene Brown, and the book is called Braving the Wilderness, and it's all about belonging to ourselves first so that we can eventually belong to others. But really the real work is connecting with ourselves. So Type 4s give us all the creativity in the world. We would not have beautiful paintings. So people are saying that, Van Gogh was a type 4. So we would not have the most beautiful paintings that exist, or maybe, beautiful music compositions if we didn't have those. And we can learn a whole lot about emotions and expressing those emotions from our type 4s. So if you're a type 4, accept yourself, trust yourself, depend on yourself, no emotion is final, and do that work to really be able to recognize who you are.